Hey there, and thanks for joining me. You are going to need, please, a couple of blocks for the session today. If you don't have a block at home, you could use a thick set book, a couple of cushions. Just make sure they're slightly firmer cushions. I'm sitting on one of them, and I'd recommend you do the same when you come to sit down. Just pop the block or the cushion underneath your bum and make sure that the knees, if you've done that, the knees are sitting lower than the hips, so that elevation through the pelvis can be a lot more comfortable than without the block. For me now, you can see my hips have gone under my knees, not very comfortable for me. So just try this on and see what you think. So you'll be sitting on one block, just place one to the side for now. And I'm also going to suggest that you have a strap. If you don't have a strap at home, you can use a belt, a tie, anything if you've got a TheraBand at home. So if you haven't got those bits and pieces, just pause me, go and grab them and come back. So once you've got your props, you're just going to place them to one side of your mat. And then come and find that comfortable seat with your hands resting wherever they're comfortable. So that might be upon your thighs, you might let them rest in your lap. And make sure, however you've set yourself, that your joints really are comfortable. So you're not stressing about knees or hips, so that it might be a kneeling position for you, and that's cool. Close down your eyes and bring your nose towards your chin ever so slightly. So not chin towards chest, but nose towards the chin. Take your shoulders up to your ears as you breathe in. And then as you breathe out, squeeze them back and then draw them down. Shoulders come forward, breathe in, up towards the ears, and then exhale as you squeeze the shoulders back and down. Try and soften through the front of the rib cage. Just notice if you're sticking your ribs and your bum out, so weight shifts back behind the sit bones slightly. One more time, you go forward, up, back, and down. And then just a few breaths, feeling the aftermath of that. Mirroring me, place your left hand down onto the floor. If it doesn't quite reach the floor, remember you've got your block, bring the floor to you. If you've got the flexibility there, you want to come further down, feel free, but keep that opposite butt cheek down. So if you put the hand down and the right butt cheek's lifting, bring your pelvis back to neutral. We will do a little bit of core work shortly, just so you know you're supporting yourself from your core. So when you place the hand down, opposite butt cheek down, so your right butt cheek down. You'll take the right arm up as you breathe in. Just check you haven't lifted the shoulder with the arm. So the arm comes up, you're pushing the right hip down, breathe in, and then exhale as we're just engaging a gentle stretch. You've got space between your shoulder and your ear, and wherever you're looking, your neck is comfortable. So if you're looking up, just check if that feels comfortable. Soften through the bottom shoulder so you're not wearing it like an earring. For 3, for 2. Come on up as you breathe in. Bring the arms through center, soften the shoulders. Exhale as you go into the other side. And just take your time to find that on the other side. So as you take the arm up and over, push the left butt cheek down. Actively anchor. Notice how that will mean you're engaging through your core. And then when you start to take the left arm up and over, you've got space between your ear and your shoulder. Bottom shoulder is down. For 3, for 2, come back to center and then bring the arm gently down by your side. The hands onto the thighs, breathe in. Leading with your belly button, a gentle twist to the right. Hands, I don't mind where, you can bring it onto the opposite thigh. Notice if you're leading your twist with your chin. So chin in the center of the chest, and you've led the twist with your navel. So as opposed to looking over the shoulder, try keeping your chin in the centre of the chest. And if you're going for more twist, initiate from your navel. So you're not over-recruiting your neck and you're initiating from your core again. So this will be a common theme throughout the session. You initiate your movements from your centre. For 3, for 2, we come back to centre, breathe in, and then exhale as you take it to the other side. Lead with the belly button. You might find that you've over-recruited your neck. So just come back, reorganise, and then go again, leading with the navel. So the chin's in the centre of the chest. You haven't thrown the chin over the shoulder. For 3, for 2, come back to centre, pause. Initiating from your sternum, not your chin. Breathe in. Now lift from the chest, breathe out. So maybe there's a little arch in the back, but you're still putting the tummy in. If you want to look up, do so, but ensure that you've initiated from your sternum. You're not just throwing your head into the air. For 3, for 2, come back to centre, breathe in, and now we've got a little spinal flexion. So you pull the tummy in, you're rounding the spine as you look down towards the floor. For 3, for 2, gently come back to centre on 1, and just take a few breaths to feel the aftermath of that. You might be breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. You might be breathing in and out through your nose with that slight constriction in the base of the throat, what we call the ujjayi breath, where you're closing the glottal muscles, the ones we use when we whisper. Or when we cough, they narrow like valves in the base of the throat. If you get tight in your jaw like me, deep breathing or exhaling through the mouth can be highly effective now and again to let that tension go. And when you feel ready, we're going to take the block out if you've got it, pop it to one side, and in fact just pop your blocks to either side of your mat at one end, and then come and sit onto your butt, hands behind your thighs, tummy in, and find your C curve, which looks like this. So I'm not in A hinge, which it looks like that. I'm in a C curve, which is my lower back. I haven't collapsed into my chest or my shoulders, just through that lower core area. We're going to warm up your abs. So you're holding behind your thighs. Inhale, you rock back a little bit. And exhale, curl it up. And notice how I'm keeping my back rounded. I'm not going into spinal extension. The rounded back, the spinal flexion, facilitates lower ab activation. That's what we're looking for. Inhale as you rock back. Don't worry about how far. Exhale, curl it up. Inhale, rock it back again as low as you can, but keeping tip of shoulders off the mat. And exhale, come back up. We're going to do that again. If you feel good, take the hands off. Sounds painful. Rock it back a little bit. Exhale, curl it up. Rock it back a little bit more. Exhale, curl it up. Go as low down as you can without lying down. Exhale, curl it up. We've got one more round. Rock back a little bit and curl it up. Rock it back about halfway and curl it up. Remember, it's okay to hold behind your thighs. Rock back as far as you can. Hold, but work your breathing now for 3, 2, 1. Exhale it up. Now cross your legs. Abs in and gently fold forward. If this irritates your hips or your knees, just bring the soles of the feet together and rock forward. Don't worry about how close your heels are to your butt. This is just a couple of breaths in that forward fold. We're going to flow through a few sun A's together, so essentially just get the body moving a little bit, and then we'll pause and I'll talk you through that bit when we get there. Relax through the back of the neck. For 3, for 2, gently come on up on 1. Bring your legs behind you. We're going to find what's called child's pose. Knees to the edges of the mat, big toes touch, and sit your bum onto your heels. Now try and keep the butt as close to your heels as you can as you walk your hands forward. If the bum's lifting, it's no big deal. It's just the energy behind getting into the shape is your tailbone is reaching down to the heels. So you reach the arms away, but the tailbone lengthens down. Forehead, chin or cheek to the mat. If you're tight in your shoulders, soften your arms. I'm going to take about 3 to 5 deep breaths here in what is a grounding shape. It's a shape that allows us to land and center. And now bring into that what you've worked on so far already with the deep breathing and this connection into your lower tummy. Particularly if you're quite flexy, you can feel your ribs really kind of flopping forward. If you've got your core on, you'll feel them elevate. So this is subtle, but there's a difference between flopping and ever so gently elevating. So you are supporting yourself from your core. Finish your next out breath. Now come forward over the knees, your hands are anchored, tuck your toes and we lift up into what's called down dog. So your feet can be wider than your hips, certainly if you've got tightness in your back. Your hands can be wider than your shoulders, particularly if you get tight shoulders or you're broad in your shoulders. Soften the knees, do not worry about how close your heels are to the floor, it's irrelevant. Soft knees, big breath in. Exhale, push your chest back towards your thighs. Breathe in. Exhale, chest back towards the thighs. Take about 3 more breaths. So fundamentally, down dog is a back stretch. Of course, you're going to get the stretch in the back of the legs, but please don't over concern yourself about whether your heels are on the floor, which then completely forgoes the stretch that you could be getting in your back. So the legs support the stretch, which means you're not over stressing in your arms. Now finish your next out breath, all the air. Bring your legs together and take your right leg up and exhale as you bend and open. Strong shape. Kick the leg back, breathe in, right foot steps forward, breathe out. Left foot steps forward to meet the right. Take a halfway lift. You could put your elbows on your thighs if your back is sore, or you might have your hands hanging or to the shins and exhale, fold forward. Chin in, tummy in, you roll up. I like to bring my legs together here. You roll it up nice and slow. Take a moment to arrive at the top. Palms forward, shoulders back. Sweep the arms wide and high, funnel the ribs in. Swan dive or bow down. I'm coming forward with a flat back. You can come forward with a round back. Halfway at the bottom, breathe in. Put your hands onto the mat, step back into a plank as you breathe out. You're squeezing your bum. If you need to put the knees down, do. Puff your back up, squeeze your bum. Breathe in. Exhale, bend your elbows, thighs and chest touch the floor together. Now inhale into a little baby cobra. Watch ending up somewhere like this where I've completely dumped into my back and I've got no neck and I've got the core on. So pull up through the quads, kneecaps lifted, elbows in, gently lift, nose to chin. And exhale, send that back to a child's pose. There's a heart chakra pose there if you want one, just with your bum in the air. 3 nice deep breaths. One way of thinking about the shapes that can be useful is depending on the day and how you are, you're making the shapes work for you, not the other way round. And how you are will depend, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. You'll need to adjust the shapes accordingly. Release your jaw. Feel your abs draw in on your next exhale. And now come forward over the knees, tuck the toes under, lift on up into down dog. Legs together now, left leg will lift, breathe in. Bend and open as you breathe out. Strong shape, heavy head, equal pressure under both hands. Kick the leg back, breathe in, step through to that low lunge as you breathe out.
Gently press the hips forward, breathe in. Tuck back toes, step right foot forward to meet the left. Halfway, elbows can come onto the shins or the knees. Exhale to fold. Chin in, tummy in, and you roll it up. Sweep the arms wide and high, breathe in. Swan dive or bow down, which is a round back to come forward. Flat back, breathe in. Hands to mat, step back. You're at the top of a push-up with a squeezed bum but a relaxed face. Knees down, breathe in. Exhale as you bend your elbows. Inhale into your cobra pose where the neck is long and the elbows in, thighs contracted. Exhale, back to child's pose. 3 or 5 breaths. Relax your jaw. Feel the abs drawing in and up on the out breath. For 3, for 2, we're going to move into one more regular sun A on 1. Come up into a down dog. Big breath in. Full breath out. Look forward, step, jump or walk to the top. Flat back, breathe in. Fold forward, breathe out. Chin in, tummy in, and you roll it up. Sweep the arms wide and high, breathe in. Swan dive or bow down, exhale. Flat back, breathe in. Hands down, step back, flow through what's called chaturanga at your own pace as you breathe out. That's your high to low push up. Inhale into the back bend, and then exhale. Heart chakra pose or child's pose. Heart chakra is with your bum in the air. If you've got tightness in your lower back, big toes together, knees wider than the hips, even in heart chakra pose can feel nice. And you can also soften your elbows if you've got tightness in your shoulders. Can be an interesting time at the moment for a lot of us off of the mat, where perhaps we're putting a lot of pressure on ourselves to close off all these cycles, tie up all the loose ends. So time off of the mat, we're vibrating at this high frequency that can get quite frenetic. So for today's session, if you're in heart chakra pose and you want to push your butt back to child's pose, go for it. Today's session is about slowing down and giving some TLC to some major areas in the body, the ones that can really cop it when we're stressed or anxious. Maybe work's really ramped up for you at the moment, end of year work stuff. So in the next few breaths, I invite you just to breathe in and out, hopefully the relief of the sense of giving yourself a practice that is going to allow your body to open and soften. One of the mental benefits of opening and softening is the more we can do that, the more we receive. So if 2025 for you is a year where you want to grow, whatever capacity that means for you, in order to do that, we have to be open to receiving. If we're closed, then that's what we get back. We get back the energy that we give out. So one way of thinking of today, of slowing down, opening, is that we're paving this way for ourselves to receive whatever might be coming our way, whilst giving our body a bit of love. So when you finish this next out breath, we're going to start with your feet. I'm going to do this side on so you can see what my feet are doing. If you want to stay facing the screen, you can, of course. Make sure you've got a block close by. We're going to stand up onto the knees and then tuck your toes under at the back. This is a toe stretch.
Now you can either sit straight back onto your heels, or if you want to give yourself a little bit of a head start or a bit of a helping hand, pop your block in. And if you start without the block, but then you feel you need it, then of course you can go there. Hands wherever they're comfortable, funneling the abs in, so your tailbone's lengthening. It's not tucking, but it's lengthening. You haven't hyperextended your lower back and your rib cage. Breathe. Relax your jaw. This can be a shape that goes from 0 to 100 very quickly. If that's not you, it's not you. If you're like me, you can go very, very quickly to high intensity. So the degree of intensity you want to work into in any one of these shapes is completely up to you. Please don't work into sharp pain. You get sharp pain, back off. If it's intense, ramp up your breathing. The more intense it gets, the slower you breathe. Remember, when you're feeling something, it's working. When you have shut yourself off to feeling because of trauma or all the different kinds of reasons why a lot of us do that to protect ourselves, that's when there's perhaps something that needs looking into a little bit more. If you're feeling something, it's working. Allow it in and breathe. You've got about 5 more breaths. Relax through your neck, relax through your shoulders. It's okay to ask for help if you decide to use a block. Finish your next out breath. And then ever so gently release. Pop the block to one side, put your hands down flat. Untuck your toes. And then a nice release here can just be to pattern the toes up and down onto the floor so you get that release. Then gently come forward over the knees, tuck the toes and lift up into down dog. If you need to stay into the 4-point knee a little bit longer, that's okay with me. Now just make sure that your strap is close by. So if you need to grab it and just scoot it up to one end of your mat, feel free. Bring your legs together, lift your right leg up, and exhale, bend and open. Now kick it back, breathe in, step your foot between your hands, breathe out, put your left knee down. If you need padding for your knee, roll over the mat, unless you use a cushion or something, I just roll over the mat here. Now abs in, and we start to gently push the hips forward. You're engaging a stretch, left hip flexor, left quad. Tummy is in and shoulders are down. If you're more upright, that's totally okay. You've also got blocks here if you need them. No right or wrong, you just choose yours and then own it. For 3, shoulders down, 2. Now start to push your butt back. Hop up onto your right heel. This is a stretch for the back of your leg. Half Hanumanasana or half splits. Push the butt back. We're getting a stretch up through the back of the leg. And you've popped up onto that right heel. Now you can take a halfway lift there. Breathe in. Exhale, fold. You've also got your blocks there if you need them. For 3. For 2. Now edge forward again on 1. Grab your strap, take it behind your back, hands wider than shoulders, palms facing away from your bum. Start to squeeze your shoulders back. When you open your heart, notice if your throat stresses out or your rib cage. So funnel the ribs in, the tailbone lengthens, you'll get more stretch in your thigh and your hip. Then when you squeeze the shoulders back, it's a different feeling through your core, nose to chin. Squeeze those shoulders back and down. 3, 2. Gently release on 1. Just pop your strap to one side. I'm going to put it to the other end of my mat, so I'm going to change ends in a moment.
And then unravel the mat if you've got it tucked. Tuck back toes. You can stay your end, you're just going to notice me change ends. And exhale, step back into a down dog. Palms are flat. Head is heavy. Legs together, right leg up, breathe in. Bend and open as you breathe out. Kick back, breathe in, step through to that lunge. If your foot doesn't make it, just gently pick it up and put it forward. Then double over the opposite edge of your mat. And then start to press the hips forward. I'm just going to go back to my left leg. So you should be with left leg forward here. Once you're down there, you just gently push the hips forwards, but elevate the ribs and the tummy, so you're not leaning on your leg. Now remember, with that, you can also go for the high lunge with the hands on the blocks. Tummy in, ribs in. 5, 4, 3, 2, then it's half Hanumanasana on 1. Push your bum back, pop up onto that opposite heel. You can do a halfway lift there, breathe in, exhale, gently fold. For 3, 2, then nudge the hands forward again. Grab your strap, come to stand up on that back knee, make sure it feels okay. Strap and hands go behind your back. Palms face away from your bum. You're squeezing your shoulders back but funneling those ribs in. Nose towards the chin as you squeeze those shoulders back. For 3, for 2, then gently release on 1. Put the strap down to one side. Plant the palms and step this back into a down dog. Release all of the air. Now gently come down onto your knees. And we're going to come into a back bend here called camel. You're going to stand up onto your knees, doubling over the mat again if you need to. Hands will come onto the lower back. Now they can go fingers up your back, they can go around, or they can go down. Please make sure your back feels comfortable, safe and supported. So you start to gently nudge the hips forward, roll the shoulders back, lift your chest, not just your chin. Lift the chest. Now you keep lifting, hips forward, chest up. You might stay there. You might bring a heel to an ankle. You might bring the other heel to the other ankle. You might let the head drop at the end. Wherever you are, stay there and breathe. Keep sending the hips forward and the chest up. For 5, 4, 3, 2, gently come up on 1. Unravel your mat and just take a seat. Couple of breaths just to feel the rebounds. Find your comfy seat facing me. The great thing with seated stretching too is that you can do this anytime, any place. So if you've just got access to, you can do this sitting on a chair. We're going to revisit the twist and the side bend that we started with. So simple but powerful and accessible stretches that you can take with you anywhere. Make sure you've got your other block nearby if you used it before. Mirroring me, inhale, right arm up, and exhale as you go into the side bend. You're pushing opposite hip down for 3, for 2, come on up, breathe in, and exhale, go into the other side. For 3, for 2, come on up, bring the arm down, inhale, lift from the chest,
Exhale, center. Inhale as you round your back. Exhale, center. Mirroring me, breathe in, leading with your navel. Gentle twist to the left. For 3. Keep leading with your belly button. 2. Come to center on 1, breathe in. Exhale, go to the other side. For 3. For 2. Come to center, breathe in, and exhale, just let yourself feel the rebounds. Mirroring me, bring your right ear to your right shoulder without falling into that hip. Place your right palm under your cheek and give the weight of your head to your hand, like really try and let it go. Neck stretch. For 3, for 2. Now with the weight of the head in the hand, place your head back up on top of your spine and then let that hand go, see how your neck feels. Now opposite side, left ear, left shoulder, place the hand under the cheek, give the weight of the head to the hand. Really try and let it go without collapsing. For 3, for 2, gently lift the head back up on 1, place the hand down, see how this feels. Now, in a moment, I'm going to invite you, just for a very, very small portion of the session, to connect to your solar plexus. And in the sessions to come, we'll elaborate just gently and just peppering in some chakra work as we go along. Now with either hand, first finger or middle finger or 3 fingers, I want you to bring them into the center, right into the center of your chest, and then down. So just kind of underneath your breastbone, just into that little soft part here, and just very gently pressing your solar plexus. Take your deep breaths. Feel the rib cage softening, so you're not pushing out into that area. Relax your shoulders. Make sure your joints are comfortable when you're breathing with this awareness into this energy epicenter, of which you have 8 energetic discs or wheels of energy. Energy epicenters that align through the center line of your body, and we're just focusing on this one, solar plexus. When you're exhaling, draw the rib cage back away from the fingers. Feel your tailbone lengthen down, but the shoulders stay back. Now there are many, many different elements or things associated with this epicenter, but for today, and let's keep it really simple and powerful, as you're taking your breaths there and breathing in and out of that epicenter, I'd like you to play with the dialogue in your mind around the sense of self-discipline and getting things done. And if you want to, bring your other hand to your heart. And send a few breaths in and out of that palm. Heart space, creativity, manifestation, following with your heart, leading with your heart, with the same connection to self-discipline, getting things done. Two very powerful energy epicenters, and you might find, certainly at this time of year, you could be in more of one than the other. When these two align, they also start to align our throat chakra very powerfully. We're just focusing on these for now. Now, after your next breath, you can keep the hands there or release them and just see how you feel in that part of your body. If you've done lots of work with me this year, you'll know that we've worked a lot on heart space. And how do we know when we're following our heart and we're listening to our intuition and we're feeling passionate and authentic about what we're doing? How do we know that our heart space is protected or looked after? And through aligning, breathing in and out of solar plexus with this idea of the self-discipline, of getting things done, particularly self-discipline, when those two are aligned, you protect your heart space by having firm boundaries. And often that can come with speaking your truth. Haven't touched on that too much today, but just interesting ones you might like to think of. Solar plexus, heart, throat chakra. Speaking, feeling, doing. Finish your next out breath. Take the block out if you've got it, and then just very gently find your way down onto your back. Hands behind the thighs, and that rolling back through the spine can feel pretty nice. And then just let yourself land there. Now you can reach the legs straight out long for a rest. You could bring soles of the feet together, knees apart for Supta Baddha Konasana. You can also slide the blocks in behind the thighs there. Hands wherever they're comfortable. If you ever have trouble sleeping, thinking of all the to-dos, or you wake up and you can't go back to sleep, but I think particularly that moment just as you're trying to get to sleep sometimes. Sometimes in a dialogue that can really help is along the lines of, I've done all that I can do. Today has been today. The best thing I can do for myself right now is lean in to try and sleep. I know these are easy words to say. You choose your own dialogue around it. I can't do any more today. My body needs to rest in order that I can do what I need to do tomorrow. So perhaps if I let myself rest, then I can do the things that maybe I didn't get done today. It is the same feeling in Shavasana. You have done all you need to do for today. And the more you can rest, the more you allow your cells to literally alter and change their cellular memory. And that's by keeping your nervous system still. So resist temptation to scratch the itch, adjust the clothing, she says, about to scratch her nose. Just be. And I'm going to invite you to stay here for a good 5 minutes. So just have a quick check on your watch or the clock. And remember, that it's hard sometimes to keep reminding ourselves that this is the most powerful one. It's the one you're in now, lying down doing nothing. It seems like it's nothing. But this is the one where you're letting it all sink in, and it literally can completely change your life by lying still. I hope today has been helpful. I'm always really eager and keen to hear your comments or feedback. Please let yourself rest, and from my heart space and my solar plexus to yours, got this. Namaste.